Bonjour mes amis, today we are going to be making some chocolate brownies. So now this is a little bit more advanced than what we did last year. Last year we did 2 ingredient fudge. This time there's, as you can see, there's quite a bit more. So here we have the butter, the eggs, a little bit of vanilla sweet flavoring, but this time it is in the recipe it said vanilla essence, but this is more like as long as you smell it, and it smells like ice cream soda, but we'll see how that works later on when we put it in the recipe. And here we have some chocolate, it's brown sugar and white sugar, baking, no, that's cocoa powder, and back here we have the flour. Okay, so we have all the ingredients readily prepared right now. So first off, I need to change into proper cooking gear. I have my apron, but I have not got my proper hat. Okay, so now I have my proper cooking hat on. It is meant to be a hairnet, but they let hair through anyway, but it does not matter. We are not a professional restaurant here, we are simply cooking at home. Okay, so first off, we're going to start with the sugar. Originally in the original recipe, you're meant to start off with the chocolate, you melt it with the butter, but first we're going to start with this, because it is just a bit easier, and it should not matter too much. And mamma mia, that is Italian, not French, but I have just forgotten one thing. I need to preheat the oven. Okay, so I need to preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Okay, so now the oven is on preheat to a gas mark 4, just over that, so that 180 degrees supposedly. Okay, so now we're going to put in the eggs. As you can see, we've got it all very nice and ready here. And now we need to put in one egg at a time using a whisk. We have a slightly out of shape whisk right here. It does not matter, we are not a professional establishment, like I said. Okay, so here's the egg. One egg goes in. Let's put this just to the side, and now you're going to start whisking. Okay, so now you can see here we are whisking all the sugar together, hopefully trying not to let too much stick. This is quite a thick mixture at the moment, of course, because it is simply a single egg and then a lot of sugar. But we're going to add in another egg now, like so. Nice and easy, no problem. Okay, so we are doing this to make the mixture of egg and sugar nice and creamy, because then we add the melted chocolate itself, and then once all of that is together along with the cocoa powder and the flour, we shall put it into the pan or the tray, how you say in English. So we keep mixing, keep whisking away like so, nice and easy. I must say, I wish that the gyms were not closed during this lockdown, because if they were not, I would have big biceps to mix this with. Usually I have big raging biceps, but right now they are very skinny because I am locked in the house. Oh no, where is the third egg? I do not know where it is. Oh, wait a minute. Magic, here's the third egg. In you go. Okay, so now it's just a matter of beating it until it is nice and creamy. And you see we are beating in the third egg. I really want to make sure it is nice and creamy and it is not too grainy or too gloopy or anything like that. We want just the right texture. This tires my arms out a lot. Okay, while I'm at it, I'm just going to quickly put the egg shells in the bin, because it's good to stay organized and make sure that you have no waste, no dirt all over the cooking surface, otherwise you will be very, very disadvantaged, trust me. Okay, and now so we whisk the eggs and sugar a little bit more. In the original recipe it did say that you are meant to use brown sugar and granulated sugar, but we simply just use white sugar and brown sugar, simply because we did not have any granulated sugar around, and in all fairness, this is all just a bit of fun, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so now I've mixed the sugar and the eggs together, so it looks nice and creamy. If you just have a quick look at here, that seems good enough for me, so I'm going to set this to the side just for a moment. And then we will melt the chocolate and the butter together to make the chocolatey buttercream mixture. Okay, so now I'm just going to break the chocolate up into little pieces. Don't worry, I did wash my hands properly before this, so no worries at all. Okay, and also another little deviation from the original recipe. Originally we were meant to use the semi-sweet Dutch chocolate, just like we were for the first last video. But today we are using a bit of dark chocolate and white chocolate just to spice things up a little bit. Not because we couldn't be bothered to get the right chocolate, simply because, you know, it's like I said, this is all just a bit of fun. It really doesn't matter too much. Okay, so we have all of this lovely, beautiful chocolate mixed together here. Now I'm going to put it in this lovely little bowl. Now in the original recipe, another tiny deviation. You put the butter and chocolate in this bowl together at once. In this case, we are just going to put the chocolate in first, then the butter, so that way the chocolate can start to melt, and then the residual heat from the chocolate will melt the butter in turn. So nice and easy peasy. Okay, so this time we're going to fill this up with a little bit of cold water, because we will be putting the chocolate and the butter on top. We have to make sure it is not too high up in the pot, otherwise it will be touching the bowl. So I'm just going to put a little bit from the sink right now. Is the bottom of the bowl wet? It is actually quite hard to tell, mainly because I put my fingers in the water a second ago, so a bit of a stupid move on my part, but it does not matter. Okay, so this time I don't... No, you're telling me it works? You lied to me! You lied to me! Is it because I'm French? You racist! Now we bring it just a little bit lower. But we do not want to boil this water, we want to put it on a simmer. It should start melting the chocolate. Right now, of course, not much is really happening, but once it starts to really heat up down there, we will start to get this lovely little gloopy white chocolate and dark chocolate mixture. And once it gets slightly warmer and a little bit softer, we will then go and add in the butter itself. Okay, let's just let that sit there for a little bit. We are just waiting at the moment. Okay, so I don't know if you can quite see there, but it is starting to melt a little bit. And the funny thing about dark chocolate, it is called dark chocolate, yet when it melts, it actually goes quite a light color. And I don't mean the white chocolate melting, of course, I'm not silly, but the dark chocolate, it goes a bit lighter, which is it's not much to shout home about, but I think it's just a little bit interesting, you know? It's just a bit funny, yes? Okay, so it is warming up there a little bit. At this moment we add the butter, as you can have it here. On the recipe, how much butter exactly is there? It is about 115 grams. That is how much I'm using roughly. Of course I do not measure it out too much, but in goes the butter like that. And now hopefully the butter will melt alongside the chocolate. Yes, in fact I can see the chocolate is melting quite nicely. This little wooden spoon thing is a bit too big, so I'm going to switch over to a little smaller metal spoon like this one, so instead I can have a lot more maneuverability down there and really get in all the little tight places and make sure it all comes together nicely. I shall cut up the butter because, as we all know, if it has a nice lower volume, it will melt a lot quicker, and that is what we want. We do not want to be here for too long. These are meant to be some nice simple brownies, nothing too complex. Oh, I really hope this is a heat-proof bowl, otherwise I'm going to be completely screwed. Okay, as you can see, the mixture is getting a lot browner because all of the chocolate is melting together to merge into this wonderful chocolatey mess. The water, like we want it, it is simply simmering, it is not boiling. That is a very important part. We do not want it to boil, we want a nice, gentle heat just to melt this wonderful mixture together and not have any issues with, okay? So yes, this is coming together quite nicely now. So now here you see there's not much left of the original chocolate. It is mostly up. I mean, a few pieces lie here and there, but most of it is now just the butter. And the butter is melting quite nicely as well. So I'm just going to chop up the butter. It is a little bit barbaric to do it this way, but it does not matter too much. Oh, that is nice and gloopy now. Look at that. There's so much chocolate in this and so much sugar, you're going to need an insulin injection once you eat it. Okay, so I think it is now mostly all mixed in and melted lovely. It is now a nice little creamy sauce of chocolate. So now I am going to turn off the heat and just move it away and let that cool off for just a little bit, because it is not meant to be hot when we add it to the egg mixture over here. And then we will all fold it in nicely with the flour and the cocoa powder, and hopefully once it is all mixed in together it will be a lovely fudgy mess. I just want to take a little bit of the chocolate here. Oh, it is a bit hot. Chocolatey, but what can I say? It is chocolate with a bit of butter. Probably not too healthy to have it in big scoops, but I just had a little taste there. It is not a problem. Okay, so I'm just having a bit of trouble with the eggs and the what do you call it? The egg and sugar mixture, because obviously we let it stand there by itself, so it was going a bit hard underneath. Because of course of the sugar, it moved to the bottom of the bowl, and we do not want that. Oh no, we want to keep it nice and fresh and creamy throughout. We do not want the eggs to rise to the surface and have a nasty, gungy, oozy part underneath of the sugar. It will be like crude oil otherwise. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the recipe. We have melted the chocolate. We have whisked the eggs and the sugar together. So now we're letting that cool a little bit, and now we will add in some salt vanilla extract or vanilla flavor. This strange looking thing which looks nothing like vanilla, and on the back it does not mention it has vanilla at all, so it's probably very bad for you if it says it is vanilla flavoring and has no vanilla in it whatsoever. This is probably poisonous. You don't buy it. Honestly, I'm not joking. It smells nice. It smells like cream soda. You ever had bar cream soda? It smells delicious, but it is probably horrible. But we are adding it in anyway because vanilla. Is this salt? No, I think it's baking soda. I hope baking soda is not poisonous. I do not want to die of baking soda. It's probably not the best way to die. Okay, so while I'm at it, I'm just gonna put a little bit of salt in here. It said a teaspoon. Let me have a quick look again. About a quarter of a tablespoon. Just a little bit of salt. This is sea salt, so... Oh, pink rock salt. So I don't know if you're meant to put that in, but it's salt is salt. Does not really matter. So I just quickly beat that in a little bit, like so. Make sure we keep that texture nice and consistent. As you can see, the chocolate is cooling off here, but it looks very, very nice. I'm looking forward to tasting it when it is all done. But we are about halfway there, I would say. As for the original recipe, it is again by Spice Bangla. I will put a little link in the original video in the description, so all credit to them because that is the original recipe, although these are a bit different because we changed a few things, but hopefully that will not matter too much. Alright, so now we have the chocolate. I think it is cool enough at this point. Oh, that is steaming a little bit. Let's just set that down. I probably should have disposed of this. This is probably a terrible safety hazard. I will just gently stir it like this and hope that it brings the air into the chocolate and make sure that the heat comes out of it. I don't know if that will actually do the job. It is more just what I am hoping to do. Mix this a little bit more. And now here comes the part we put in the vanilla. This might poison my whole family. Hopefully not. So I will just put a little bit, oh, that dripped a bit there, and maybe a little bit more, because I do not really want to put too much of this in there, in all fairness. It kind of scares me, to be honest. Okay, in goes the vanilla essence, well, or vanilla flavoring it is called. So let's mix in the vanilla essence here. I keep saying vanilla essence, it is, nothing could be farther from the truth. In goes the chocolate. And we have some chocolate left over, by the way, so at the end I might put some little white chocolate chips into the brownie. Okay, so now we put the chocolate and butter into the eggs, the sugar, the vanilla flavoring, and the salt, yes. So now we're just going to mix this together. this looks quite nice. Okay, so as you can see, it is getting quite a bit thicker now. And there's a nice rich smell of chocolate in the air, so this is very enjoyable for me. Now comes the part where we put in the flour and cocoa powder. So for this we have a little sieve like so. So we have the flour here. We will just carefully put it into the sieve. That does not work at all, but oh well. I thought it would look cool. Carefully put the cocoa powder in there as well. And now gently do that. That works out nicely. And now comes the part where we fold it all in. Okay, so it's just careful little folding it in. Nothing too aggressive, nothing too difficult. Just folding it in nicely. Okay, so this will take a little bit of time, of course, because I'm just trying to gently fold things in, and I'm actually not too used to folding things in, to be honest. So please do not be too harsh on me if my technique is not quite proper here. Okay, so now we've been folding in the cocoa powder and the flour for quite a bit of time now, and this is just the last little bit of it. So I will just fold it over a few more times and make sure it is all nicely incorporated, and we won't have any nasty lumps or any bits of powder left. Okay, so now I have folded in everything. If you'd like to have a nice look, everything is more or less nicely incorporated. Should be a nice little fudgy brownie once it all sets. We did have a bit of an accident over here. I accidentally let it drip a little bit, silly me, but it is not too much of a problem. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly clean that off a little bit. And now this is just a little idea vase. Just a little idea of ours to put a little bit of white chocolate in there. Just little white chocolate chips, you know. But we do not have any actual white chocolate chips. We only have the actual chocolate bar. So instead what we will do is cut it up with a knife, and hopefully that will be good enough. Okay, so now we've chopped up all of the little bits of white chocolate, and now I put them in here. Nice and easy. Okay, so now we will just gently fold these in. Nice and simple, just to make sure they're all nice and covered up. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we have the batter here. It is all nice and ready. Hopefully nicely incorporated as well. So now here is the pan. I have put a little bit of butter and flour in it, so hopefully it will not stick too badly. If it does stick, it will ruin everything, I think, but hopefully it will not. So all the batter is here, and now we will very gently pour it in. And by the way, originally you are meant to use baking paper or cooking paper, whatever you call it, with butter in the pan, but we do not have any, so c'est la vie. We are just going to use flour and butter. Like I said, it is a bit better. We are just going to gently move it into the pan like so. So that is most of the brownie put into the pan, or however you like to call it. I will now just scrape up all of the last little bits left in this bowl, just to make sure we do not waste anything, and that we get maximum volume for the brownie that we can put in the pan. So yeah, so it looks quite nice looking at it. Nice little white pan with the chocolate brownie inside. Hopefully that will look okay. Now the original recipe said to put it in the oven for about 30 minutes or so. This is a little bit on the thin side, so we might put it in for 20 and then check on it. But I will see you hopefully once this is all nicely baked. Okay, so it has been about half an hour or so, so now we have had it out of the oven. Here it is, a little bit cracked on the surface, so not 100% even. That is not too much of a problem though. I'm a bit worried, to be honest, that it will be a bit too sloppy in the center. I know it is meant to be fudgy in the center as it is a brownie, but of course, you see, I do not want it to fall apart. We've got little cocktail sticks here. So on the edges, if you have a look, it goes in and comes out relatively clean. So that's more of a cakey texture, and I don't mind it personally. Some people hate cakey brownies. It does not matter too much. But if you look at the center, I stick it in a few times, and then it comes out a little bit dirtier. So it seems quite fudgy, but hopefully not too fudgy. Anyway, this has only just come out of the oven, so we have to wait, of course, for it to cool down properly. So you let it sit there on the cooling rack for a little bit, and then I will get back to you when it comes to the actual taste test. Okay, mes amis, so now we've let it cool for about 15 to 20 minutes, and now we're going to slice it up and fry a little bit of it. A little bit. It tastes quite good. And now I don't really know if you are meant to spoon the brownie out of the casing. So this is how it looks. It's got a little bit of sponginess, a little bit, but I would say it's not too bad. Let's have a quick taste test. I did not quite know if I could say it is fudgy, because that is the outside part. But the inner part, it is a bit thicker, so I know it will be a bit more runny, a bit more fudgy. So, just tasting that, I'd say it is quite good. Probably a nice little success. I am quite happy with it, to be honest. If I were to make this again, maybe use a bit more ingredients. That way it will not be as thin. This is quite a thin brownie, as you can see. Slightly crispy outside texture, but nice and chocolatey, not too sweet, I don't think, not too heavy. I quite like it, to be honest. I think it is a good success. I will put a link to the original recipe in the description, as well as my own one that I followed. I hope you enjoyed watching, and love to see you in the next cooking video.